This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Some go for fake mark sheets, the rest open up their pockets. Engineering seats available in any college of your choice as long as you have the budget.
That's the capitation fees that are not taking college. We are not taking, they will be commission 5,000, 10,000. That only we are taking.
Karunanidhi ups the pressure on the centre over the Lankan Tamil's issue, urges Prime Minister to send an envoy to Sri Lanka. 5 victims rescued and 6 traffickers in judicial custody after the CBCID busts a major prostitution racket in Chulaimedu. As the nation reels into the tragedy of children affected by HIV due to unsafe blood transfusion, exactly how safe is the procedure in the city hospitals? Get your emission checks done or cough up the fine. Chennai Traffic Police cracks the whip on vehicle owners. Welcome to the late night news on NDTV Hindu with me, Divya. Let's now take a quick look at the top national stories making headlines. It's a war of words over the Indo-Pakistan peace dialogue. India's Foreign Secretary says Pakistan needs to introspect on terror as policy. Omar Abdullah briefs Home Minister on the situation in his state, says there is need to stop the inflow of funds to those instigating some of the protests. As pressure mounts on him, Karnataka Chief Minister tells Home Minister he will sack the Reddys if there is proof against them.
There is no charges against any ministers. If there is charges within 24 hours, I am going to.
And a Bihar court summons Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi over the Durga poster issue. Counselling for engineering courses in Tamil Nadu is well underway, and the young and the crooked who are not producing fake mark sheets have a more surefire way to getting a seat, money, and a lots of it at that. Getting admission to a top college is just a 2-day job with the right moolah. Our education reporter Minal Shah investigated one such agent, and what she found out was quite shocking.
This little office in T Nagar is the key to get into any engineering college in the city, with or without merit. The better the reputation of the college, the more you will have to pay to this man. On asking for a seat, the agent puts up his price tag.
We are taking 10 admission for Anna University. Okay. That one is my quota is over. 18 lakhs capitation.
18 lakhs for Anna University.
Campus, inside campus.
Good.
SRM group. Usually they are charging 7 lakhs capitation.
Can you fill in JPR, how much will it be?
7.7.
This is profit season for this consultancy and many such in the city. The agent alone sells 400 seats a year.
But the people came in means, but that capitation fees that are not taking college, we are not taking. They will give commission 5,000, 10,000. That only we are taking.
Some consultancies are more than 10 years old and have connections all over the country. The recent IT raids made the consultancy shift vocation but not profession. In fact, the agent has only become more swift. Instead of a few days, a seat is now available within 2 days. Just pay in cash. So while the state enjoys the reputation of lending a premier quality education in engineering, the government is immune to the open secret that education is actually up for sale. And there seems to be no discount here. In Chennai, Minal Shah, NDTV Hindu.
And when we approached the Vice Chancellor of Anna University for his reaction to how these seats are being sold by such touts, his reaction was quite passive. Let's listen into what he had to say.
See, the policy of the government is the admission should be fair, and self-financing colleges they should not get any excess fee or capitation fee. If specific complaint is received, then the 3-member committee will look into that matter, and whatever appropriate action is to be taken, it will be taken.
And when we spoke to some of the parents and students, they were understandably quite shocked over this racket.
Students வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிக்கிறாங்க. கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிச்சிட்டு அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் வந்து படிக்கணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஆம்பிஷனோட தான் எல்லாருமே படிக்கிறாங்க. படிக்கும்போது அதெல்லாம் வந்து விற்கிறாங்கன்னும் போது அது ஏற்றுக்கவே முடியாது.
because of these agents. Despite of getting good marks also, I'm not able to get in a preferable college. Forced to going to another college.
நிறைய மதிப்பெண் எடுத்து வர பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு இருந்தாலும் அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் வந்து இடம் கிடைக்கிறது இல்லைங்கிறதால நிறைய பேர் வந்து இந்த பிரைவேட் தனியார் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் கோட்டாவில் போகிறாங்க. அந்த சீட்டு வந்து வியாபாரமாக்கப்படுது. அதை வந்து நாம் அதுக்கு போகாமல் நேரடியாக நம்ம இந்த கலந்தாய்வு கூட்டத்தில் எல்லாருக்குமே படித்தவங்க எல்லாத்துக்குமே வந்து அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் சீட்டு கிடைக்குதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு நம்பிக்கையில் தான் நாங்கள் ஒவ்வொரு முறையும் இந்த கலந்தாய்வு கூட்டத்தில் கலந்துக்கிறோம்.
The agents, they really take off the right of a student for getting into a good college.
The education is a commercialization. அப்போ அது வந்து என்ன ஒரு வியாபார ரீதியாக தான் இருக்குன்ற மாதிரி தான் தெரியுது இன்றைக்கி. அதில் வந்து சந்தேகமாக கிடையாது.
And Dr. Kalanidhi, former Vice Chancellor of Anna University, joined us in our studio and said unless the government is serious in busting this racket, the many licensed rats will be prevalent.
I have my own doubts about the constitution of the committee itself.
Right.
Because the chairman himself is not an experienced Vice Chancellor from an engineering university.
He's from an open university.
Yeah, then you can understand how serious the government is. And they have to tell why they have put him and instead of the other technical university vice chancellors available in the country here. They conduct one or two institutions as if these one or two institutions are involved in this kind of racket. The capitation collection is being carried on in many of the institutions, and this is known to the general public. When it is known,
what I was talking about is
wait. When it is known to the general public, you mean to say this is not known to the authorities who are taking serious action on them?
Well, looks like we only have to wait and see if this new form committee to monitor these capitation fee will just be an eyewash or actually help bust this entire racket. Well, moving on, mounting pressure on the central government over the Sri Lankan Tamils issue, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi today urged Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to send a special envoy to the island nation to assess the real situation there. In a reply to the Prime Minister's letter seeking Karunanidhi's advice on the Sri Lankan issue, Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi underlined the need for immediate rehabilitation and expressed his dissatisfaction that rehabilitation process has not progressed at expected levels despite the Indian government sanctioning 500 crore rupees and the internally displaced Tamils still continue to undergo the ordeal at various camps in Sri Lanka. Janata Dal United Chief Sharad Yadav called on AIADMK General Secretary Jayalalitha today at her Poise Garden residence. The meeting went on for nearly half an hour. And speaking to reporters, Sharad Yadav said it was a courtesy call and he thanked Jayalalitha for her participation in the Bharat Bandh called by the NDA and left parties against the recent fuel hike. Well, the anti-trafficking cell of Crime Branch CID has busted a major prostitution racket in the city at Chulai-Medu. On a tip-off from the senior CBCID officers, they have trapped 6 traffickers and rescued 5 victims from the brothel. All the 6 accused have been remanded to judicial custody. The victims aged between 19 to 25 will be taken to rehabilitation. And Ms. Archana Ramasundram, the ADGP with the CBCID, spoke to us about how these little investigating agencies could do in cases where victims, the women involved in prostitution, came back to the business after every attempt at rehabilitation.
See, this is a problem which is beyond the scope of an enforcement agency like ours, because the problem of trafficking has got socio-economic dimensions. So, and it is not correct to say that in everybody's case the rehabilitation does not succeed. There are cases where perhaps the girls have not come back to this profession. But yes, by and large, the factors which have compelled them in the first place to come to this profession, if they continue, then there is every reason that they will revert.
Well, until now, the traffic police in Chennai were only checking signal violations, overspeeding and lane discipline. But in a fresh effort to clean up the air, a vehicle's permit or registration could be revoked if it is found to be violating emission rules. Pratiksha has this report.
On a normal working day, about 35 lakh vehicles run on Chennai's roads. Nearly 50% of them violate emission levels set by the authorities. The State Pollution Control Board has found that air pollution levels in the city have been increasing by 3.5% every year. Well, after NGOs and corporate companies, it is now the Chennai City Traffic Police's turn in trying to clean Chennai's environment. They say that now every car that is more than a year old should have emission checks done every 6 months and should carry an emission check certificate in the car at all times. a fresh crackdown got underway on Saturday. Two-wheelers which flood Chennai streets are not allowed to emit more than 4.5% of carbon monoxide, and four-wheelers should keep emission levels below 3%.
Pollutant emissions which are exhausted from the automobiles are silent killers.
Motorists seem to welcome the move to control air pollution levels.
பிஸ்டல் வீக்காக இருந்துச்சுன்னா அது அப்போ ஒரு புகை வரதான் செய்யும். அப்போ நாங்கள் அதை சரி பண்ணி வச்சோம்னு சொல்லுவோம். அதுக்கு மேலே கேஸ் போட்டால் தான் நம்ம கட்டி தான் ஆகணும், வழி கிடையாது.
அதனோட கண்டிஷனோட லெவலை கரெக்டாக வச்சுட்டு இருந்தோம்னா எமிஷன் வராது.
Environmentalists say it is not only the condition of the vehicle but also adulterated fuel that is responsible for high emissions. Motorists could end up paying fines up to 500 rupees or even have the permit or registration of a vehicle revoked for repeated violations. The police hope this will force people to keep their vehicles in proper conditions and, more importantly, the atmosphere clean for a healthy living. In Chennai, Pratiksha Ramkumar for NDTV Hindu.
And it's time now to get you all that is making news all over India. This is the nation for you in 60 seconds.
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Umar Abdullah says there is a need to curb the inflow of funds to miscreants who are holding protests in the valley. This comes after his meeting with the Home Minister following clashes between security forces and protesters, which have left 17 civilians dead. Sonia's depiction as Goddess Durga in some posters in 2007 has been raked up again. This time, a Bihar court has summoned the Congress president to appear before it on July 29th, as it said that these posters have hurt Hindu sentiments. It's Wah Taj again. The Taj Mahal has been voted as the most popular Asian monument in a poll conducted by the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions.
And up ahead on this bulletin, Superstars Endiran, said to be the second largest release worldwide, is all ready to launch its audio. Dreaming of being a professional when you're young is one thing, realizing that dream at the age of 10 is another. Well, this child prodigy has just done that.